I think I have sorted things out. Have you ever talked to somebody and suddenly your ear makes a popping sound, as it did just? But anyway, as I'm oft to say, the only time I feel reasonably happy in this world, with the threat of human annihilation hanging over us all, is when I've had a smoke of marijuana, tobacco, cannabis. Bang. Hence, Bang Man, or Free Bang. But anyway, again, I say, I am here to talk about being happy and seeking happiness, which of course is part of the USA thingy, the seeking of happiness. And in fact, the only thing that makes me unhappy when I'm happy is the fact that the thing that makes me reasonably happy is prohibited internationally. Sorry, one shouldn't laugh over such matters of such seriousness. But anyway, I say, yet again, cannabis makes me happy, and when I'm happy, I tend to learn a lot more than I would if I was miserable. Now, most of society today, especially in the working class sort of ghettos of the world, where unemployment figures are exceptionally high, and in some council estates in the United Kingdom, where there are very high pockets of unemployment and drug taking. One can understand why so many people in those areas actually use cannabis and why they use it. It makes them happy. And everybody learns more when they're happy. Because when you're miserable, everything is a drag. It's boring when you're miserable. And then there's the other thing that I get when I smoke cannabis, and that's the feeling of hopefulness for the world and the people that live on it. I think it's something like 11 billion now, but I might be wrong. That feeling of hopefulness should be the hopefulness of all of those 11 billion. But those 11 billion need to begin to work together and not to fight together. And so I feel it only right and proper that I ask now, as a nobody living in the world, that everybody all over the world, no matter what their ranking in life, actually says to themselves, why the hell am I gonna pull this trigger and kill this cop? It's because you've done something wrong, I suppose, why you're going to pull the trigger. So the joke is, I suppose, and it's no joke really, we're all programmed, we're all in the matrix, we're all programmed and socially conditioned, socially engineered to be in the position that we're in. And social engineering is something that governments do. But anyway, again, cannabis makes me happy, and cannabis makes me hopeful. And if the world was allowed to produce cannabis as the United Nations says we should, for industrial purposes, which presumably would include hemp seed for food, as well as for ethanol and fibre, the UN, the United Nations, should actually be turning now to the people of the world and to the governments of the world and saying, yes, we said you could grow hemp 20 years ago. It's just that we haven't bothered telling you again that you can. So I'm telling you instead that 20 years ago the UN said every nation could grow hemp for industrial purposes. But they haven't told anybody since. So, come on UN, put your ideas up, tell the world the truth. And finally, I suppose I can say that nobody in the world has died from an overdose of cannabis. Everything is down to education. Everything. If somebody that smokes cannabis gets a panic attack of some kind, then perhaps he's just got to realise, he or she anyway, that person has just got to realise that it's not the cannabis that's causing the panic attack. It's worrying about what people think about me using cannabis that's causing the panic attack. And if it's bad enough, then I suppose one has to be whisked off to the hospital. Time to go. I only give you